People of the interwebs, it's your favorite abandoned warehouse Sarah here with another truck review. And today I have a 2020 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro CrewMax, which means this thing basically has a small home on the back of it. The back of this truck is enormous. And it's in the color army green, which is probably the best color Toyota puts on any of their trucks. In case you stumbled on this video by complete accident and know nothing about the TRD Pro edition of the Tundra, or they don't sell them where you live, what sets this apart from the rest of the model lineup is this is the top spec of the off-road editions. Just like the Tacoma TRD Pro, the Tundra has this Satoshi style grille with Toyota written out in the center in a gunmetal font, and then these little black Lego bricks that make up the grille. It's a good looking grille. And you get these Rigid Industries LED fog lights, which will absolutely blind you if you stare directly into them. Ask me how I know. Aside from the Fox Racing remote reservoir struts this truck comes with 1.5 extra inches of travel in the front and 2 inches extra travel in the rear, I think the best feature hands down about the TRD Pro edition are these forged 18-inch BBS wheels. I'm a huge fan of BBS wheels in general, but I think the ones on this truck look sick. Not only does it have clear bra film right here on the edge of the cab corner as well as on the front of the bed, it also has this little black plastic shield to help protect the paint. Most truck reviews out there only ever talk about payloads and capacities when it comes to the bed of a pickup truck, which is definitely important. However, some people want to know about how comfy it is to sit back here, because let's face it, this is where most memories with a pickup truck are made. There's a guy walking by out there in the desert, and I'm sitting in the bed of a pickup truck talking to a camera. Where's the tailgate handle? There it is. It's definitely missing a built-in cup holder right here. I mean, there is a little round indentation. I guess you could put a drink, but that's not really gonna hold it in place much. This one does have an optional spray-in bed liner, which I feel should be standard on all trucks. I don't know why that's an option. Tailgate also is fairly simple. It doesn't fold into origami animals like the one on the GMC. And overall, the bed is pretty simple back here. Hey look, it says Toyota on the handle. That's nice. As far as the interior goes, you guys know I don't read off brochures because that is boring. I'm just gonna give you my physical observations and what it feels like to sit inside this truck. Starting with none other than the seats, which I'm not doing a bolstering test. Nope. It's not a performance car, there's no point. These seats are comfortable, but the TRD model comes with black leather seats with TRD embroidered in red and red stitching, which if you live in a hot desert climate, black leather isn't that desirable. So it would be nice to see a cloth option for the TRD package, especially at least in the center portion of the seat. It's so big back here and I can stretch my legs out over the center console and it's padded leather, so it's somewhat comfortable even though it's bending my knees backwards and that's not good. The black leather carries through onto the dash and the door cards with the red stitching is a nice touch, but the rest of the dash in here is a letdown. And I said that in the last time I reviewed a Tundra. They try their best to make it look fancy, but it's dated and the Tundra is due for a redesign here pretty soon. So hopefully the dash in that will be upscale and up to date like you get in the Tacoma. I really like the dash and the infotainment layout in that thing. Watch this. Karate chop. There's no back window. It goes down. It's so awesome. It does have Fruit and Robot compatibility for your smartphones, and it does everything you should expect it to in the year 2020. Hey, 3-button blink. The other Tundra didn't have that. This does come with the Toyota Safety Sense package standard for 2020, which includes the automatic high beams and the lane keep assist and all the other useless shit that just makes you a lazy, complacent driver. For 2020, they brought back the option to get the double cab version of this truck with the TRD Pro package, which saves over $4 grand. I think that's definitely a steal considering of what you get with the TRD Pro package. I'm sad it doesn't have a wireless charging pad like you get in the Tacoma. I really like the interior of the Tacoma, so I hope the next gen sneeze that's about to come out of my face comes with something like that. That sneeze was powerful. The center console in this truck fits all the Penguins. Does have a stalactite style tissue box holder though. So smart. Tissue holder. Whoa, that's a big wasp. No, I don't want to get bit by a murder hornet. It shakes the whole truck when you rev it. God, that TRD exhaust system sounds so good. In the name of science, I shall now give it the beans. I'm going to leave it in drive. I'm not going to use the manual mode. I don't really think it's going to make it any faster. I will put the traction control just into auto LSD. I'm not going to fully disable it. And I think this will give me the best possible launch. Give it a little assistance and see what it can do. Ready? Go. Oh, there goes everything in the back seat. Man, it's really torquey. Sounds good. That's for damn sure. That's good enough. Well, it's faster than I thought it was going to be going. It's not fast, but it's not slow. It gets the job done. You thought there was only going to be one give it the beans test in this video, huh? Round 2, in the dirt. Put it in 4-wheel high. And I'm going to turn off traction control. And we'll let this thing eat in the dirt and see what it'll do. Ready? Go. Ooh, these tires aren't bad. Hell yeah, let it eat, truck. Dude, that's awesome. This thing rips in the dirt. Wow. I mean, that's mostly all down to the tire, but it didn't even spin. There was no drama. It just went. Ooh, it was a dead bumblebee. Bridge struts. That's it? That's all it opens. Oh, okay. That's an ingenious way to go through the firewall. Never seen that before. That little snapper doodle right there is brown and the rest of them are all black. Hello, and welcome to Garage Science with Sarah. Powering this 2020 Tundra is still the 3UR-FE. It is a 5.7 liter naturally aspirated V8 that produces 381 horsepower at 5,600 RPM and 401 pound-feet of torque at 3,600 RPM. At one point in time, Toyota used to offer from the factory an optional twin-screw supercharger for the Tundra's 5.7 that would bring the horsepower up to 504 horse at 5,500 RPM and 550 pound-feet of torque at 3,600 RPM. There's a lot of flies in here right now. I think they're going to eat me. Regardless what model of the Tundra you get, they all come with stainless steel exhausts from the factory, which is nice if you live in a place that rots your vehicles out 2 years after you buy them. But this one right here has a TRD catback exhaust. That's why it sounds so good. And it also has 4-to-1 stainless tubular exhaust manifolds from the factory, which is not TRD Pro specific, but it's good that they're using stainless steel in the entire exhaust system. That way we don't have to worry about anything rusting out. All right, it's time for the braking test. No one behind me? Oh dear. Ooh, oh my God. Oh, that was an aggressive braking test. Oh, wow. I think it even made screeching noises. That's a real word, by the way, screeching. Hello, I'm back. The drivetrain found in the Tundra is a 6-speed automatic transmission with ECTI, just means that it's somewhat intelligent and learned your driving habits. This does come with a part-time 4-wheel drive system, electronic limited slip, and a 4.3 final drive ratio. There's a couple of different trails that I like to take my off-road reviews on, and unfortunately right now there's an extremely high fire danger in southern Arizona, which means the 2 more advanced trails that I've found are kind of off limits because there's lots of tall brush and grass around the trail, and I don't want to be the start of a wildfire. So this trail is a little bit more Baja friendly, has lots of dirt roads with jumps and stuff, so this one will be pretty fun regardless. The typical thing to do in a truck review would be to set this up in an ideal situation to showcase its off-road capabilities. But most people that buy these things aren't professional off-roaders. So I'm in a sandy wash right now. It's in 2-wheel drive, traction control is turned off, and there's an off-camber medium steep hill in front of me with boulders on one side and hard-packed dirt on the other. I'm just gonna mat the gas and see what this thing does. Okay, go. Ooh, it sunk down in that sand. Ooh, the truck didn't like that. I got about a quarter throttle right now. Ooh, good. Picked up speed pretty quick regardless. Dude, this truck will put in some work, I'll tell you what. Another wash, another hill in two-wheel drive. Spinning a little bit. Ooh, there's a bump right here. Okay, this section has some whoops in it, and I actually got air with the Raptor in this area. This isn't a Raptor, but it's got Fox suspension, so. Oh, it took that jump, not bad. Jump again. Dude, this truck is something else. God, it sounds so good. This thing is kind of impressing me so far. This is pretty good. All right, it's my famous hill test. It's not the biggest hill in the world, but last year when I reviewed the TRD Sport Tundra up this hill, it had a little bit of trouble getting up it in two-wheel drive, which is not really a measure of a truck's capabilities. I mean, there's no weight in the rear, and it really comes down to the tires. But again, it's not an ideal situation to test a vehicle. It's improper, and a lot of the times these trucks get used for improper situations. So let's see what it'll do up this hill. Get it. Oh, come on, like nothing. That was so easy. What? That was so easy. Back down the hill I go. Now, unlike the Tacoma and the 4Runner, this does not have hill descent control or the train select knob. It is a TRD Pro model, but sans those options. So I guess you just gotta use your foot to control the brake. Honestly, other than the robotic wheel noises that the hill descent control feature has, I don't really miss it. This isn't a rock crawler though. This is a almost Baja capable off-road truck, almost. Can the truck do the same hill in four-wheel drive in reverse? I told you, this is less than ideal situations. Let's see if this truck will do it. So far, thank you, camera. It's doing it, no problem. Oh yeah, it'll climb a fairly steep hill in reverse. As far as driving this thing on asphalt goes, considering that's where it'll probably spend 90% of its life for the average person that purchases one of these, it drives like a full-size 4x4 truck. It's not that harsh though on the road because of the fact it does have this Fox suspension. It's actually pretty comfortable, but it does get pretty abysmal fuel economy, as I've averaged just over 13 miles per gallon over the past week of driving it, but I've been pretty heavy into the loud pedal because this thing sounds good. And rumor has it the next generation might get a twin turbo V6 and no more V8, which I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it'll be a real competitor for the EcoBoost in the Ford, but I kind of like this big, grunty, mean-sounding V8. So if you guys have never seen one of my vehicle reviews before, I have multiple categories to rate and assess them, and because this is a truck and an off-road review, it gets the inclusion of the meatball score, which I'm not going to explain because it barely makes any sense, but here's a link up above that explains where it all came from. So, the TRD Pro Tundra is going to get a rating of 3 meatballs. A Raptor this thing is not. However, I did test a Raptor on this exact same trail a year ago, and this is 20 grand cheaper, and this is not 20 grand less truck. It's highly capable and it kind of impressed me, but it doesn't have the hill descent control or the terrain select feature you get in the Pro edition of the Tacoma or the 4Runner, which I was going to knock it on the rating because of that, but those are different purpose-built vehicles. Thank you, future Sarah, for recording that. Next is the cookie score. It is a rating of 1 to 5 cookies based on what you get for what you spend, an assessment of value. And the TRD Pro CrewMax edition is getting a rating of 3 cookies. You get quite a bit in this truck, and despite the infotainment system looking like it's from 2002, it does everything it should in 2020. Last up is the Penguin score. It is a rating of 1 to 5 penguins based on how much I personally like a vehicle. And the 2020 TRD Pro Tundra is getting a rating of 2.75 penguins. It's a notch above average because the Tacoma with a 6-speed manual exists, and that's my jam right there. I think that's a perfect size for a truck, and with a 6-speed manual, can't go wrong. But if you need a full-size truck, this thing's pretty sweet. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you soon with another. Bye. Weep, weep. Weep, weep. Weep, weep. No weep, weep.